Hello, everyone. Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, and I'm joined once again by my co-host Gordon Chatterton. We're here to talk a little college football, maybe sprinkle in a little NFL, of course. Gordon, how we doing this week? The Buckeyes continue their winning ways on the road the other day, get a big win. Number one team in the land. Your Packers beat my Bengals. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Bengals game made me a little nervous because we was playing. We might as well have been lining up in the end zone whenever they was passing because they were so much cushion. But we controlled the first half. If not controlled the first half, we might have lost that game.
Yeah, if Joe Flacco and them may have had a little bit more rhythm to them, that game would have been a lot closer than what it was by the time that they started going there.
Yeah, say the first half. I think the time of possession, I think Bengals only had like 8 minutes, if that, in the first half. And the second half, they controlled almost the entire third quarter. They had 10 minutes. Wasn't that like a 17, 18 play drive?
Yeah, it took 10 some minutes off the clock right there, and they just went right down the field there. Well, not right down the field. I mean, it took them a while to get right down the field, but they got down there. They scored a touchdown that they needed at that point in time. And Trey Hendrickson went out at halftime, which, you're thinking, okay, there goes your pass rush. But, man, he was playing the run pretty good in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
And in the second half, it didn't matter. Josh Jacobs could have done whatever he wanted to that defense after Trey Hendrickson went out in the second half.
Well, they didn't have to just focus on Hendrickson. They could actually spread out the offensive line, which is not as good as what it should have been, but, good enough. And I guess that's all you can ask for. Kind of pushing around a little bit. Actually got the run game going. Overall, I gotta say, I was happy. Everyone said they should have blown him out. They wasn't gonna blow him out. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is too good. You ain't blowing that team out unless you can knock out the quarterback and keep him on the ground. You're not going to blow him out. You're not blowing the Bengals out.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco was definitely an upgrade over Jake Browning, even at 40 years of age. That throw he threw to Tanner Hudson in the back of the end zone, there was two guys around Tanner Hudson, and he put it right where it needed to be. That was a veteran move, veteran throw by him right there, and that was a big upgrade from what they've had the last few weeks.
Oh, yeah, that was a hell of a throw. Actually, I think the throw to Jamar Chase at the pylon
where Nixon was holding him.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't still made the catch.
I think there was 3 of the throws that he threw to Jamar Chase. I mean, a Packer was like within inches of him, and it didn't matter. He's going to remember that and say, "Well, tomorrow night, I'm not picking the game."
Yeah,
because it's not on the list, and I don't have to make Gage mad.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked if that's a big over. The Bengals defense ain't great, but Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, it's hard to cover him with 2 people, let alone just one. So I got a feeling he's going to remember that and say, if I just get it near him, he's 9 times out of 10, he's going to pull it in. He's going to start launching them to Chase.
Yeah. And T. Higgins had a pretty good game there, too, in the second half. So he can start finding those 2 guys. And if you can get Chase Brown to do, that could open up Chase Brown back there. Once you start getting Higgins and Chase the ball, Chase Brown could open up a little bit of path here to get him some running game, because they've had no running game whatsoever this season. But if you could do that and get that opened up, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get a little bit of hope here.
Yeah, well, you deserve a little bit. Your Wildcats ain't giving you none. Hopefully the Bengals will start.
Well, that's so we will focus on the college football. We're getting to it right now. But last weekend, it was a good weekend for college football because my Kentucky Wildcats did not let me down as they were on a bye. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, well, I was happy for you there.
And your Buckeyes go into Champaign and beat the Illinois Fighting Illini 34-16. Gordon, they give up a red zone touchdown. What is going on? The sky is falling in Columbus now, man. They should fire Ryan Day right now, right?
No. Like I said last week, it was going to happen. Yeah, it's not. You're not going to keep every team out of the end zone. Their offense ain't as bad as Indiana made them look. I mean, I think Indiana shocked them more than anything. Styles makes fights, and Illinois didn't have a style for that fight, so... But yeah.
And it looks like Indiana may have been legit now. We may have found that out, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. In Indiana, we don't play Indiana unless we meet them in the Big Ten championship game. So that would be that would be a big stage for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. But yeah, so they come out, and I mean, if you look at the stats from the game the other day of Ohio State, not real impressive stats wise. What you wouldn't think, just saying 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bo Jackson, 47 yards rushing, no touchdowns, 44 for Donaldson, 2 touchdowns on the ground. If you just look at the stats offensive-wise, I mean, not a whole lot, but they still dominated this game.
It was the pick had a lot to do with it. Gave them a very short field. I think they had a couple good returns in special teams, not like touchdowns or breaking midfield, but getting close to midfield. We had a lot of short field punts. That probably has a lot to do with why the stats wasn't as big as it was. Had a lot of short field from punts, and not to mention Illinois had a lot of sustaining drives in the second half, so we didn't touch the ball as much as we normally do in the second half either. But I give Illinois credit. They played hard and they didn't give up. They kept fighting. But we won.
They did. They kept fighting. They didn't give up. They got down pretty big. It was, looking pretty bad at halftime. But I told you, Gordon, last week on this podcast, I picked your Buckeyes to cover the spread, and they covered that 14.5-point spread. But I know you said you can't do that because they barely did, but they still cover. A cover's a cover.
That's right.
And one thing, I'm sitting here looking at the stats here, and this brings me back to the Packers real quick, Packers-Bengals game the other day. And Illinois has a player on here, Khalil Valentine, ran the ball 3 times for 6 yards, which brings me to Carrington Valentine. Will you calm down, Carrington Valentine, former Kentucky Wildcat cornerback? You're talking too much smack over there. You're not that great. Calm down a little bit, Carrington.
Well,
just had to get that off my chest there.
Well, if you play DB in the NFL and you're not a little bit cocky, you probably don't need to be there.
You're probably right, but I mean, man, that was a little much for me. And I was like, come on, Carrington, I want to cheer for you, but right now you're just pissing me off, okay?
To me, you need to be selective of when you do your trash talk. When you're going against 2 guys that you definitely can't cover by yourself, maybe you should keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, like he made a really good play knocking the ball away from Jamar Chase. And the very next play is when Chase got that touchdown at the pylon. It was like, okay. It wasn't on Carrington, but still, your teammates still have to back you up too when you talk that trash,
Oh, yeah.
So you got to think of them as well on that. But, man, big dominant win for the Buckeyes once again. They're rolling right now, man. They're the favorites right now to go to the national championship once again. The defense is kind of iffy right now at this point. Maybe they should fire Matt Patricia, right, Gordon? Is that what we're thinking up here? Are we getting delusional up here yet or no?
No, I ain't calling for nobody's job yet. Depending on what we do at the end of the year.
We're going to go over a list of the coaches that's been fired so far here in just a little bit. But, they're not performing so well early on, so they're giving them the quick hook. So you're not ready to do that to Patricia yet at the defensive coordinator spot.
No.
I'm only kidding here, of course, because,
Yeah. Since we're getting ready to talk about coaches that have been fired. I know one you're going to bring up is James Franklin.
Absolutely.
So that's a big one. But before we go and throw dirt on the coffin, maybe let's step back and let's take a look at some of the players that have come out of Penn State under his watch that are on both of our teams and some of the other teams in the NFL that have made big impacts. There's Saquon Barkley.
Pretty good running back right there, I would say.
On my team, there's Micah Parsons.
Pretty good edge over there.
Yeah. And one of our better offensive linemen, Rasheed Walker, was on the same team as Saquon Barkley. Then on your team, Mike Gesicki was a Nittany line.
Nittany line, yep.
And there's a San Francisco defensive end that Yerder Gross Matos. I can't say his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
That's pretty good right there, I would say.
And Tampa Bay, one of Baker's favorite targets, Chris Godwin, was a Nittany line. And then I can't remember his name, Abdul Carter, New York Giants. He brought some good players in the NFL. Okay, now let's start kicking the dirt.
Yeah, we'll kick some dirt on him here in a little bit. I'm going to save that for my yell or no yell. But yeah, so this Saturday, we'll talk about it here after a while too. We'll pick it. Both our teams got a game this Saturday. Ohio State, number 1, travels to Madison, Wisconsin to face the Wisconsin Badgers. On a scale of 1 to 10, Gordon, how confident are you in this game?
9.9. I can't say 10 because there's always a fluke somewhere.
There's always that chance, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you here too, man. I think Luke Fickell may be the next one to fall out of the Big Ten head coach.
I think Luke Fickell is better suited for the Group of 5. When he was when he's the coach of Cincinnati, he even got him to the Natty. Yeah, or to the 14 playoff. He's better suited for that. He's a great defensive mind. I just don't think he's good for the whole round thing. offense, and if he's going to be a head coach, he needs to keep as far away from the offense as he can get.
Yeah,
just
I think so.
Defense.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like I said, we'll pick it after a while, but yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that Ohio State's probably going to be. I think they're really 27.5-point favorite. Wouldn't surprise me if they go up there and cover. I know Wisconsin's got a good defense and everything, but Alabama kind of just took them out back to the woodshed earlier in the year, and I think Ohio State's a lot better than Alabama is.
Yeah, we don't have the names or nothing like that. We got a couple of names on offense, but we got one name with defense. One. Caleb Downs.
So, I thought you were going to say the Styles boys over there.
Well, they're good. But...
yeah, Sonny and AJ. No, just kidding.
Well, AJ.
Yeah. And then also another game Saturday, which was going to be part of our picks after a while, and we'll talk about it a little bit then. Of course, I guess we have to talk about it. I don't know. Do we have to talk about it? Yeah, we have to talk about it. Number 21, Texas Longhorns roll into Lexington to face the Kentucky Wildcats. Scale of 1 to 10, confidence for me in this game. 1. If I could go any lower than that, I probably would. I'll go 1 since I put a scale of 1 to 10 on here. I'll go 1 on the confidence level. You're going 5 on this.
Yeah.
5. I just have no confidence whatsoever in Mark Stoops right now is the thing.
I agree with you on that, but there is a method to the madness, and styles makes fights. The type of style Kentucky plays, Texas does not play well. They're not soft. But if you hit them in the mouth a few times, they start to fold like cheap tents.
Last week, we forgot to mention a game on here on our pick'ems. We teased it a little bit, and I kind of dropped the ball on it. The Red River Rivalry. We did not pick that one, but Texas defeated Oklahoma in that one. John Mateer, I think he came back a little early from that broken hand.
No, I'm almost positive. I watched a little bit of that game, but it was already out of hand. Some of the balls he threw.
I see what you did there.
It looked like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was. When he threw the ball, it looked like I threw it. It was wobbly and weak, and
it was not
basically
good.
What I'm telling you is I can't throw a football very good.
Yeah, it was not good at all. But Texas got a big win. They're still in the top 25. Kentucky's got a chance to knock them out of the playoff contention if they beat them Saturday. Kentucky's coming off of a bye. Mark Stoops hardly ever has success coming out of a bye. Maybe they'll change this week. I don't know. They played Texas pretty tough last year, so we'll see.
Who does Texas play next week?
That is a great question. I have not looked that far ahead yet to see who Texas plays next week. I don't know if they've got a bye or what.
Because I know they came off the big win, the Red River Rivalry. Even if they thought they should win, it's still a rivalry game. It's for the golden hat. And so there's another game. When you sandwich a bad team, or not a bad team, but an underproducing team, I don't want to call them a bad team, an underproducing team in between two, target teams, that's normally when weird stuff happens. That's why I gave you a 5, because they come off the Red River Rivalry.
That's easy for us to say, isn't it? Red River Rivalry. They are on a bye next week.
Okay, Texas well then. I still give you a 5 because they got good style against them.
And then they play Vandy the week after at home. Maybe another top 25 matchup. We'll see. But yeah, man, I'm just not confident at all in this team right now, even coming off of a bye. You think they would be better off of a bye? This team never is better off of a bye. Seth McGowan, I'm not sure. Just feed him quite a bit. Give Cutter some easy throws and see what happens. I don't know. That defense, Texas defense is pretty good, though.
Well, only thing I can tell Mark Stoops that he would never listen to, because he doesn't know this already. No, I mean for the game. You've got a decent tight end. Use them in the middle of the field. If you watch the games, 9 times out of 10, he's got like 3 yards of separation because they don't hardly throw to him. Yeah. So no one covers him real close.
Yeah, and Willie Rodriguez is a sophomore, and he could play in the NFL. I think he's that good at tight end. Utilize him more.
Well, then they got 2. Him and use him.
Yep. I agree.
Go into the 21 personnel. Get the 2 tight ends in there.
Yeah, we don't have to say cut her loose this time, but, hey, cut him loose every once in a while,
No, cut him loose for 7 yards or less to tight ends. And then you might be able to cut it loose once in a while deep.
Well, that's kind of our little small preview for this week. I mean, we're not really getting into a whole lot of previewing there because we're going to pick it after a while. But, Gordon, let me tell you about Yell or No Yell is the next topic here. Once again, we don't have the little sound effect yet. Moved over to StreamYard. Still trying to figure all that out. But, hey, we're here, Yell or No Yell. Gordon, the first topic for your yell or no yell.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to go first? I'm sorry, you cut out. Okay.
Yeah, go first on the yell or no yell.
Okay. I got one to see. FSU and Oklahoma is in trouble.
Yell with you on that one. They're definitely in trouble. They look like two totally different teams than they did the first of the year. Now, I think that Oklahoma may get a little bit better after last week. If Mateer can get that hand healthy, I think they still should have kept him out last week and probably this week, to be honest with you. Get him completely healthy out there and come out there. Florida State, on the other hand, I just don't think Mike Norvell is the guy for that school anymore.
No.
Ever since they went 13-0 and got left out of the last 4-team playoff and then got crushed by Georgia in that bowl game, Florida State hasn't been the same since. They beat Alabama earlier in the year with Castellanos, but I think they're trying to ride off of that, and you can't do that.
Yeah, if I seen that thing correctly, Florida State is 0-3 in conference play. They're done. They're done. Oklahoma is getting very close to being done, if not already. They got blowed out by Texas.
That was their first loss. Like I said, if Mateer can get healthy, maybe, but I think they brought him back too early. They wanted to bring him back for the Red River rivalry. You can afford to lose a game, maybe two nowadays, and still get in the playoffs, but is it worth risking your quarterback getting hurt again? You losing 2 games, then losing him for the rest of the year? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think at least they should have left him out last week.
Yeah.
And wait until he could, consistently throw a ball for 30 minutes of just practice without his hand hurting before they should have put him in there. Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't, but
it feels like he was only out 4 weeks, I think it was. And I don't know, man. I broke my wrist before, and I was down and out for good 6 weeks.
Not a real break, but I had fractures in my wrist and hand, and I couldn't hardly grip nothing for almost 2 months. So
yeah, so I mean, for him to go out there and try to throw a football that early, I don't know, but I think I'm going to yell with you on this one. I think they're done. I think both teams are done with, especially Florida State, man, and they're going to have a tough conversation about Norvell at the end of the season, I believe.
I think I know I got an idea. If they fire him, who's going to be the next coach?
They wouldn't go call somebody in Boulder, Colorado, would they?
That's what I'm thinking. He wanted the job before Norvell got it.
He did, and I think they're thinking maybe we should have took that.
They probably are.
So my first yell or no yell, let's go ahead and let's put dirt on that grave of James Franklin. James Franklin was fired after 12 seasons because of, was it two straight losses they had? I think it was 3. Yeah, they lost to Oregon, and they lost to Northwestern.
No, they lost to Oregon. Then they lost to UCLA.
UCLA, that's right.
Then Northwestern.
Then Northwestern. I was there thinking, I can't remember the second team that they lost to. But I believe that James Franklin couldn't win the big one, so they decided we need to get somebody in here that can win the big one because their expectations are a lot higher than just making a good bowl game. James Franklin will get you 8 to 9 wins, maybe 10, occasionally get you into playoff talk, occasionally get you into playoff, but when it comes down to it, he can never pull off the big one, and that's why he no longer has a job at Penn State. I think he would be better served at a school like where he came from, Vandy or something like that, where the expectations aren't that high. And they would build a statue for that guy if he stayed there that whole time, won 9 games year after year like he does at Penn State.
Oh, yeah. Well, not Vandy now. Vandy's actually got some success now, but right. I know what you're saying.
A school like Vandy.
Yeah, maybe.
Like a Northwestern.
No, let's keep him out of the Big Ten.
Well, it wouldn't matter. He would lose when they played Ohio State. So
I know, but yeah, probably Northwestern would be a good spot for him. Actually, there's a couple SEC schools that would probably be good for him, but not your team.
Oh, I don't want him. Kentucky fans were putting photoshops of James Franklin in Kentucky polos and like, who says no? And I'm like, I says no. I don't want James Franklin. Sorry.
No, you don't says no. You scream no.
I yell no. But yeah, so I think that, that was the right decision by Penn State. Take notes, Kentucky. You could still fire somebody even if they have a big buyout. Just saying.
Well, yeah, they're paying Franklin $50 million a year just to stay home.
I want that contract. Give me that contract. I will take that contract.
I would too. I can go fill it being a coach too. And and I won't require nearly as much.
So James Franklin gets fired. Also, so far the firings for the season: Brent Pry from Virginia Tech, he was fired. Trent Bray from Oregon State, he was fired. Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State. Sam Pittman, Arkansas. Deshaun Foster, UCLA. All these guys fired midseason. These schools now aren't afraid to let go of somebody early on unless you're Kentucky, and they let you just stay and give you extensions. So, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, you was worried he was going to win a big one. I wrote on my paper, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked with this week. Don't be shocked with this Saturday. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm saying don't be shocked. Styles make fights.
Yeah, well, that's my first topic on Yell or No Yell. Gordon, what is your first one?
My second one?
Your second one, sorry, yes.
Yeah. Browns need to move to Sanders within 3 weeks.
I'm going to yell at you. Dylan Gabriel looked pretty decent in his first game. I mean, decent against Minnesota's defense. But last week, not so much against Pittsburgh. You've got to go with Sanders, right? I think he's the better prospect between the two. Dylan Gabriel's ceiling so high. I think Sanders is a little bit higher than that. I think so. I think you got to go with Shedeur.
Yeah, there's a reason why Sanders had a first-round grade on him, and Dylan Gabriel had a third-round grade on him. He got drafted where he should have gotten drafted. Sanders fell because, well, they say it was because of his interviewing process. I didn't know interviewing had anything to do with throwing the football, but I guess that's why I'm not a scout.
Yeah, and I think you got to make the move too but I don't know if Kevin Stefanski likes Shedeur. I mean, he was kind of iffy about whether he was going to name him the backup quarterback last week or if he's going to name Bailey Zappi the backup quarterback. But you've got to give him a shot just to see what he can do. Your season's lost. You're not going anywhere this year. What's the point of just playing Dylan Gabriel the rest of the year and not giving Shedeur a shot just to see what you have, just to see if he does play like you hope he does?
Well, I'm glad they didn't do it, but if not, why'd you trade Drew Flacco to the Bengals and trade Shedeur Sanders if you don't like him?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
if you got
maybe Bengals didn't want to give up much draft capital, but I mean, there's other teams that need quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of teams in the NFL that need quarterbacks. See it every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday. But yeah, that was my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I like Dylan Gabriel, but he's always played with a lot of talent. You never knew how good he was going to be in the NFL whenever the line was not holding up against all NFL talent instead of just maybe one here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should have got an idea in the playoff whenever they played Ohio State. They had everybody on the defensive line was drafted from last year's Ohio State team. When he went up against that both times, they harassed him all the game long. And the second time, they didn't make the mistakes by over pursuing and took different angles, and they shut him down.
Yeah, you would think a scout would be able to see that and be able to be like, maybe he's not pro ready.
Well, he was pro ready. I just don't think he was better than Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, well, pro ready, I mean like starter in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
So my next yell or no yell. Kirby Smart lied about calling the timeout last week. I don't care what he says. That was a lie. Did you see this, Gordon?
Oh, yeah. He said, I didn't call a timeout, and they showed him. He was doing
this. I was just showing the clap. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty good. Next time he came down the sideline and was calling the timeout, someone said they shouldn't have gave him timeout because he was just clapping.
Yeah. That's what they should have said. I thought you were just clapping. Sorry, I didn't give you that timeout right there.
Yeah.
He should be fined by the SEC, man. That was a pivotal part of the game, 13-10. He got a free timeout right there. They were about to get a delay of game, and he comes out there saying, they're clapping. After he called timeout. I don't care what he says. Kirby Smart is a liar.
Well, most of the coaches that are really successful do a lot of lying on the sidelines.
But they don't get caught on camera, though, in a big pivotal part like that. I mean, that changes games like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff I've seen where referees ain't calling a lot of stuff either, but that was blatant.
It's like in baseball, if you're in the outfield and somebody's banging on the trash can when the fastball's coming, and the batter knows what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my second yell or no yell right there. Kirby Smart is a liar.
Yeah.
All right, Gordon, your next topic.
Okay. This is my last one because we talked about my first one already. So one of mine's already. So I don't need to bring that up. It was about a coach firing. We've already discussed that.
Gotcha.
IU are they on the same level as OSU?
Oh, man, this is tough right here. This is really tough because you don't think of Indiana as being a power, right? And then you see them this year. You see them last year. They make the playoffs last year. Kurt Cinetti comes in there, and you're like, okay, come from James Madison. He built James Madison up pretty good. Gets into Indiana last year. They make the playoffs. They lose the first game, though, but they still made the playoffs. So you're like, okay, anybody can do it. 12 teams now, one-hit wonder, right? Comes out this year, and they just pound Illinois in a top 25 matchup. Just absolutely pound them. Then they go out to Oregon. You're like, all right, it's time to come back down to reality. Game day's out there. Dan Lanning and Pat McAfee's out there taking their shirts off together in the crowd, getting everybody all riled up and everything. You're thinking, oh, boy, Oregon's going to be fired up and ready to go. And they just controlled that game for the most part. Second half, they really just – Oregon couldn't keep up with them. I mean, they had no answer for Indiana, and it was really impressive for them. Are they on the same level as Ohio State? Man, I don't know yet. I don't think they're on that level yet because that's a whole different level. But I can see them getting to it, actually, to be honest with you, before the end of the season. I can see them getting to that level. I think Cinetti is a really good coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, that, I mean, as far as historically, no, not even close. But this season, I think they've got toes on that tier. I mean, they're playing well enough that they've got toes on a tier on the tier of Ohio State that OSU's on. I brought this up because I don't want to seem like I'm just a homer. Like, no, this is my team. No one can beat them. No, someone can beat them. It's going to, it may not happen this year, but it's happened in the past. Mm-hmm. We had a dominant defense, kept Texas out of end zone on red zone, out of the end zone when they was in the red zone twice all year. I knew someone was going to score on them, and I think Illinois did it twice.
Yeah.
I think both their touchdowns was in the red zone. So I knew it was going to happen. But as far as, they was talking about type of coverage that Illinois was playing on Indiana, played right into their hands. They was playing like medium zone, and Indiana just chewed it up. So Illinois probably didn't play that with anybody else because they said, well, this doesn't work.
Well, they've got some players too, man. Surratt and what was it? What's the other wide receiver they've got out there? He caught quite a bit too. He looked pretty good too. Mendoza, the quarterback.
Mendoza does look good.
He looks good too. So I mean, they've got players. It's not just like some fluke Indiana, just a blip on the radar. He's turned this program around. They're looking really good so far.
Yeah, they got a good running game too.
Yeah, all phases of the game. Indiana's looking good right now, and they're number 3 now for a reason. So.
Oh yeah. So.
All right. So that'll bring me to my next topic, and this is kind of a little off the board a little bit, but it's college sports. Texas Tech was fined $25,000 this past weekend for throwing tortillas on the field. That's a tradition that they have in Texas Tech, which is kind of crazy. But it brings me to this point. If you're fining Texas Tech for throwing tortillas on the field, can we get rid of the cowbells in Starkville?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they say it's safety because if you step on them, you're gonna slide. Mm. That's the whole point. But there ain't nothing more annoying than them damn cowbells.
Yeah. You talk about a home field advantage, that's one, and it's written in the rules that they're the only ones that can have it. And it's like, well, how is that fair?
Well, I mean, I don't see. I mean, it's actually in the rules that they're the only team that can have cowbells.
Yeah, the SEC has a rule that you can have no noisemakers except for Mississippi State. They're allowed to have cowbells. It is written in the SEC rules that they are grandfathered in to be able to have noisemakers a la cowbells.
Oh, that needs a change.
Yes. So I'm saying, look, so I'm just, tortillas, I get it, safety reasons. There's a reason why they got fined. They should have got fined. My point is, you shouldn't have home field advantages if you can't let everybody have a home field advantage.
Right. Hey, they should just been thankful. It could have been like the WNBA game. Someone could have been throwing purple dildos at them.
That happened in a football game, I believe, too. There was a pink one, and I don't know, man, but they, I would hate to slip on one of those out there in the field. Have a hard time right there trying to get back up,
Okay, that was a nice little pun you threw in there, too. Throwing dildos on the field and have a hard time getting up.
Man, well, It's a game of inches. So, oh man, we're getting off the rails here for sure. You have any more yell or no yell topics, Gordon? All right. All right, so that's our yell or no yell segment. Maybe the best one yet. I don't know. We'll see. But that'll lead us now into some picks. And I don't really keep up with the college football picks as much as we do the NFL. But, Gordon, if you want to know what we went last week on the NFL, man, you killed the NFL last week. You had 2 losses.
I think I'll take
maybe 3.
I had 2. I had 3. I missed
3,
both Monday nights.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah, me and you had 1 loss going into Sunday night. I missed Sunday night, and I missed both Monday nights. Other than that, I would have been right there with you. But, yeah, man, it was good. We were looking really good going into the primetime games. Gage, not so much. I'm calling you out, Gage, right now. You got to be better, son. It's week to week. You just never know, right?
No. I said, though, in a way, I was wanting to take Pittsburgh, but I said no. I said, styles make fights. I said, there's something that makes me want to take them. And boy, did they let me down. Not as bad as the Jets did against Dallas, but you know.
Yeah, the Browns did let you down there against Pittsburgh, and Gage said he's not going to gloat, but he may gloat a little bit tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I won't be on there tomorrow night because I got to go to work Friday morning, so I got to be up at 4:00.
And tomorrow night the Bengals play the Steelers. We usually record during the last fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah.
We may just live stream during that and then record afterwards because I don't think I could sit here and record while that game's going on. We may just sit here and just trash talk each other on a live stream or something until then. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. So maybe stay tuned for that. But into the pick'ems for this week, and let's go ahead and let's start off, Gordon, with the number 1 team in the land, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Travel to Madison to face the Wisconsin Badgers. I believe Ohio State is a 27.5-point favorite in this one. Do you like the Buckeyes to cover? The line moved?
Yeah, when I looked at it either yesterday or the day before, it was 24.
24.5. Maybe. I think I looked at it just a little bit ago. I think it was 27, but we'll check it right now. But what do you think about it?
Well, I think Ohio State's going to win. When it comes to my team, I will not pick cover or not because I think to me, it's a jinx and I'm superstitious about my football. I mean, it's so bad to the point that if my team isn't playing very well, I will change my shirt to a different Ohio State shirt. Yeah, so even when I pick the games, I won't pick like against the points. I just pick them to win money line, even though it never wins anything really.
No.
It might win a dime if I put $10 on it, it might win me 10 cents.
Yeah. Well, so they're 25.5-point favorite. I was looking at Indiana below that. They were 27.5-point favorite. 25.5-point favorite for Ohio State on the road. It's a lot of points. I like the Buckeyes in this one. I just don't think Wisconsin's very good at all. They're going to play Ohio State good to begin with a little bit. It's going to be a little bit of a defensive battle. And then just saying's going to remember, oh, yeah, hey, I've got Carnell Tate over there. Look on this side. I've got Jeremiah Smith. There's Max Clare right there. Hey, look over here. I've got Bo Jackson in the backfield. There's C.J. Donaldson. And then they're just going to take over and just overwhelm Wisconsin at the end of it. So I got Ohio State winning.
I said, I got them winning, but would I like to see them win by 30? Yeah. Well, I like to see them win like they beat like they won against Grambling State earlier this year. Oh, hell yeah, I'd love to see that. I just won't make a pick to say that.
So the next game we go to is number 21 Texas Longhorns traveling to Lexington to face my Kentucky Wildcats. Texas is only a 12.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, what do we think here?
Well, I told you earlier, don't be shocked. Okay, smart money says Texas wins, but if they win, I don't have them covering. I think it's going to be a close game, very close. Kentucky should run the ball, make it muddy. You can run on Texas. Just about every team has. Well, Ohio State didn't because they tried to use James Peoples more and Donaldson, and they just didn't have the speed at first. But other than that, just about every other team is ran on. Kentucky's a pretty good running team. Go ugly up the game. So, like I said, smart money says Texas, but I wouldn't take the points. I would take Kentucky with the points.
Kentucky coming off of a bye. Usually not too good for them with Mark Stoops. They played Texas tough last year. This game's at home. Texas hasn't looked really that great all season long against anybody, except for last week. They looked pretty good against Oklahoma. Kentucky, they can run the ball. Seth McGowan, feed him. He was second in the SEC in rushing yards before last game. Give him the ball some. 12.5. I think Texas wins this game, unfortunately. But I think Kentucky covers. I think that they stay close with them. and it's an ugly game all the way up to the end, but Texas just kind of pulls away there towards the end and wins by maybe 7 to 10 points, I think. But Kentucky will keep it entertaining for the most part.
Like I told you, so don't be shocked.
I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong on that. Well, I mean, we both picked Texas, but I hope they do pull off a shocker. That'd be pretty good. Even though I'm not a fan of Mark Stoops, I want Mark Stoops gone. I think his time's over with. I still want to see Kentucky win games. I don't want to sit here and watch Kentucky lose games. And this could be the last Saturday where Kentucky football fans pay attention to football. You're 2-3. You fall to Texas, you'll be 2-4. Next week, Kentucky's got a game in basketball against number 1 Purdue as an exhibition game. A lot of Kentucky fans are probably going to check out. This guy's not going to check out because, football. But a lot of Kentucky fans will check out if they lose this game. If they somehow pull this off, the fans will be back in it for a little bit. Even though basketball's going on, they'll still have the football, but just keep an eye out for that for Kentucky football fans.
Yeah, start seeing empty stands.
And that will probably get Mark Stoops out of here quicker too. the crowd ain't there.
You put more fans you sell more tickets in a stadium than you can in an arena.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the next matchup we're going to go to Friday night, Gordon, here real quick, and that is the Louisville Cardinals. I almost called them something else there. They travel to Miami to face number 2 Miami Hurricanes. Miami's a 13.5-point favorite. Gordon, Miami coming off of a bye last week. What do you think about number 2 in the land?
What I have written down here is Miami wins, and I got them covering a 13.5. I know Louisville is not a horrible team.
We can call them by what we want to call them. I mean, come on, let's do it. Let's just do it. Loser.
Yeah, they're a pretty good team, but there's levels to this, and they're not nowhere near Miami's level. Yeah. Not this year. Maybe in years past, yeah. But Miami is playing like gangbusters right now. Mm-hmm. Carson Beck is wheeling and dealing anywhere he wants to go. The offensive line, he's relatively clean at the end of all these games. They're not touching. I mean, some people are, but it's not happening near level. I mean, he's coming out down there squeaky clean every game. They can run the ball and they can play defense. I got Miami. Yep. I got Miami winning by. I mean, I would say you could probably almost double this and still cover. I mean, you can take that slider to 26 and probably still cover.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there. Miami, they're the best team in Florida this year, of course. I mean, no doubt about it. Carson Beck's played pretty good. Like you said, it's been clean. What's impressive for them is that defense has played really well so far for Miami, surprisingly. And, of course, Louisville, they're a 13.5-point dog. I'm taking Miami in this one because it's L's down all day, every day over here on this podcast. Give me the Hurricanes. Let's go. And the next matchup we've got is a top 25 matchup. Number 10, LSU Tigers travel to Nashville to face number 17, Vanderbilt Commodores. Vandy is coming off of a bye, and I believe LSU may be as well. Vandy is a 2.5-point favorite at home. Gordon, first off, are we surprised that Vandy's the favorite? And number 2, who you like?
Am I shocked Vandy's the favorite? Actually, no. They're at home, and they're coming off a bye. And not to mention, LSU's offense has not looked nowhere close to what it looked like last year, and it wasn't great last year. Nussmeier has not taken a step forward. He's taken 3 steps back.
Yep.
He's not playing great. Their weapons it might just be because the quarterback ain't been playing real well, but they don't look like they're standing out. There's a guy that went from Kentucky to LSU, and they can't get him the ball.
Nope.
So I bet you Mr. Brown wishes he'd have just stayed in UK or picked another destination. I mean, overall, there is more stuff to do in New Orleans than there is in Lexington. So
fair.
And nightlife might be a little bit better. So he goes, well, and at least the team will win, at least most of the time. And
all fair points.
As bad as I don't like to say that last one, it's what's been so far this year and last year. Last year was such a bummer. So many games I thought they played so close and had so much hope, and it was like heartbreakers at the end. I did not enjoy that, watching that. But I got Vandy. I got Vandy winning and covering. 2.5 points is not that much, so it's a field goal. So I got them winning by at least 3.
So LSU, like you said, has been a disappointment this year. I'm going to take back one of my yell or no yells from early on in this season. And I said Garrett Nussmeier is a Heisman candidate. He will be at the end of the season. Talk about somebody that's disappointed. Garrett Nussmeier is your disappointment of the season, I believe. He is overrated so far by a lot, I believe, this year. He hasn't played well at all. And you can't get the playmakers the ball, can't get them involved. It's tough for them. On the other hand, Vanderbilt coming off of a loss at Alabama last week. Has Diego Pavia talked any smack this week to LSU? I just need to know that before I make this pick.
I don't think so. I haven't seen nothing on ESPN app about it.
All right, good. Makes me feel better about my pick now. I'm going Vanderbilt in this one. I think Vanderbilt covers because Diego Pavia talked all that smack last week. Brother didn't back it up. He played awful last week or the week before when they played Alabama. He didn't play good at all. If he plays halfway decent in that game, they win that game against Alabama. I mean, they were close most of it. He made a couple of mistakes that cost his team. Now he needs to put that on his shoulders and carry him the rest of the way.
Yeah.
You want to talk the smack? You got to back it up, man. And I think he will this week. Even if he doesn't talk the smack, I think he backs it up. They get him back on track. Give me Vandy. Give me a Vandy cover. We go now next to the ACC, and the number 12 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets travel to Duke, Durham to play the Duke Blue Devils. Duke is a 1.5-point favorite at home. Gordon, are you surprised by this spread? And what do you think about it?
I am, even though Duke's at home, Georgia has played, well, Georgia Tech has beaten people on the road that they probably shouldn't have beat, but under normal, in other years, they wouldn't have beat them, the same team. So there's something about that team this year. Their quarterback, he's king. He's actually a decent passer, which is Georgia Tech. I know, sorry. That's not something you're used to hearing about your quarterback, people saying they're a good passer too. But, triple option. But anyways, he can actually throw the ball. He's thrown it pretty good. So, yes, it shocks me that they're the favorite. I'm just trying to think about what do I not know? Because I haven't seen nothing like King out or two running backs. They got the 4 of the 5 offensive linemen got arrested. I don't know. They had nothing said. But I've got the upset, evidently, Georgia Tech over Duke.
Man, well, Georgia Tech, Hayes King, like we mentioned, he's been really good all year. Also pretty good rushing quarterback as well. But he can stand back there and he can throw the ball too. Really impressive with him. And like you said, you don't usually get that with Georgia Tech. You think Georgia Tech, maybe they're running triple option. I don't know. Duke, on the other hand, they played pretty well this year, too. They got a couple losses. They lost to Illinois. They lost to Tulane, which, funny enough, Tulane's old quarterback transferred to Duke. So that was kind of odd for him, I would think. He'd think he was getting an upgrade by going to Duke from a Power 4 school, or Power 5 school, or a Group of 5 school, sorry. Man, Duke beat California last week by a bunch. Is that something? No, it's probably not. Duke's at home. Duke's not a bad team, actually, but I got Georgia Tech winning this one, too. I've got Georgia Tech covering, of course, because they're the road dog, Jesse James. And there's my road dog mentioned for this week on the podcast. But, yeah, give me the Yellow Jackets in this one. I think they win over Duke.
The Ramblin' Wreck.
And the next matchup we've got here, go back to the SEC, and it is the number 14 Oklahoma Sooners traveling to Columbia to face the South Carolina Gamecocks. Oklahoma is a 5.5-point favorite on the road. John Mateer expected to play. Gordon, what do you think about Oklahoma being a road favorite here at South Carolina?
Well, the way they played, with the exception of last week, the way they played and the way their defense played, them being favorites, it's kind of, expected. But the question is how is that hand? If Mateer's hand is fine and last week was just an abomination because everybody could have a crappy game, then Oklahoma should win this pretty easy and cover. But because I don't know that, I have no faith in South Carolina, obviously, because they're good one week and then they're complete garbage next. So give me Oklahoma win, but a South Carolina cover. 5.5 is too many points.
I'll tell you, South Carolina this year has looked good in one game, and that one game was against the Kentucky Wildcats. Other than that, man, the first game of the season they played Virginia Tech. They didn't beat them by a whole lot. And then we seen what happened to Virginia Tech's coach. They let him go because they haven't done nothing since. And then, Lenore Sellers, there's another guy that was a Heisman potential candidate. Not been good this year so far. They've got some weapons out there, but they don't utilize them a whole lot. This team should have been a lot improved from last year, and they're just not. They're just not a very good team, really. Oklahoma, like you said, the big question is the hand. John Mateer's hand. How's it going to hold up? I'm going to assume that it's better than it was last week. Oklahoma's defense is still really good. Lenore Sellers will be a little bit of a test for him, but I think Oklahoma wins this game, and I got Oklahoma covering by a touchdown.
I would have picked that too, but I wasn't sure about the hand, so I figured the defense would keep it low enough to where they might win, but it'd just be a cover, So, but I have to. You took back. You made a Heisman apology earlier. I got to make one too. I said Castellanos was in the running for the Heisman Trophy. That was bad.
Look, hold on a second, Gordon. Let me check my notes here real quick. Yeah, we're not going over any Florida State games this week, so that's why he has dropped off completely. Man, shoo. What one game, it's funny to me, man, and everybody does it. We did it on here. We do it on the NFL. After like the first week of the season, everybody like overreacts and has these takes. And then like a few weeks later, it's like, yeah, I want to take back what I said a few weeks ago in week 1. I may have overreacted quite a bit. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's football. Everybody does it. It's great. We both sound silly. I bet if we went back and we listened to some of these earlier podcasts and some of the silly yell or no yells we did, we'd be like, yeah, can we just delete that from the archives or something here? Man, our next matchup we're going to go to, number 4, Texas A&M travels to Arkansas to face those Razorbacks. Texas A&M is a 7.5-point favorite at Arkansas. Gordon, last week you picked Arkansas to beat Tennessee. They hung in with them pretty good. Bobby Petrino's first game interim coach. Well, first game back as interim coach, I should say, because there was the whole motorcycle. I mean, there was before motorcycle and after motorcycle. Gordon, who you like in this one?
I'm not going to do the same thing I did last time. What I said, I'll take Texas A&M. They've got a way better offense than what I originally thought because I watched the past couple games. Not all of them, but highlights and stuff because I was watching other games. So I can only watch it on 3 different TVs. So, 2 TVs and my tablet. So I can only watch so much football. So I got what I saw. Arkansas's defense can't stop a cold. So give me Texas A&M in a cover.
I watched most of Texas A&M's game last week against Florida because Florida got on them a little bit early and Texas A&M just overwhelmed them towards the end there and Florida couldn't do a whole lot. Beat them 34-17. Texas A&M, I don't think people's paying much attention to Texas A&M for whatever reason, but they're a really good football team. They're, undefeated right now. Going into Arkansas, Bobby Petrino's second game as interim head coach. He's going to get that offense looking a little bit better each week. Texas A&M's defense is going to be the best defense that they've seen so far this year. But like you said, Arkansas can't stop anything. Can't stop me and you. They're not going to stop Texas A&M. Marcel Reed, the quarterback for Texas A&M, really good quarterback for them. I like Texas A&M to win this one, and I think Texas A&M covers. The over/under in that game is 60.5. I think it could go over.
Yeah, there was one game last week I sat there and thought about taking the over, and I talked myself out of it. And boy, would that did that hit. The USF game, they scored 99 points.
USF and North Texas, what a game to watch, especially that first half. And then the second half, South Florida, man. What a juggernaut for a Power 4 or a Group of 5.
They almost hit the over by themselves.
The over-under was 66.5?
Yeah, 66.5, and they had 63, didn't they?
Yeah, they had 63 to 36 or something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 99 points at 63 to 36. I mean, wow.
Yeah, there may be a game like that this Saturday. Baylor and TCU play, and there's no defense that gets played in that game.
Well, it's Big 12.
Bet player props in that one if you want, because both them teams like to sling the ball around. So take that advice from me. The next matchup we have is a top 10 matchup in the SEC. And we got number 5 Ole Miss Rebels and Lane Kiffin traveling to that line, cheating no good Kirby Smart and number 9 Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia's a 7.5-point favorite at home. Ole Miss is undefeated. Barely got past Washington State last week. Gordon, what do you think here?
Yeah, they barely escaped Wazoo.
At home.
Yes. I got Georgia's way better than Wazoo and just about everybody else Ole Miss has faced this year. And not to mention, one of my takes in the beginning of the year was Georgia winning the SEC. Well, they can't keep losing and winning the SEC, so I got Georgia winning and covering.
So, Georgia last week, I mean, what was that? Little John Stockton. Not a good game for him.
No.
But, once again, for all of Auburn's flaws, they do have a really good defense. They've held some really good teams to some low scores. They just can't score themselves. So Ole Miss, really good offense. Not last week, though. I mean, it took them forever to get going, it seemed like. You're at home to Wazoo. You were a 30-some point favorite. You only beat them by 3. You could have lost that game. You don't have any defense. So Georgia should be a lot better looking on offense this week. Georgia's defense, probably one of the better defenses Ole Miss has seen so far this year. I like the Dogs in this one. Kirby Smart will find a way to, call some timeout, not really call a timeout and say that he was like patting his belly or something like that. The referees will believe him and whatever.
I was scratching my hand.
Yeah, so give me the Bulldogs in this one. Yeah, and I think Ole Miss covers. I think it'll be a close game, though, actually. But I think Georgia wins because Ole Miss won't be able to stop them, and they'll be able to stop Ole Miss at least.
Yeah, because Ole Miss is lucky Washington State, Wazoo does not have an offense, or they would have got boat raced.
Yeah, they would have. And, they're not even in a conference right now. They don't even know who they are, and they almost come into your place and beat you. Yeah, the Pac-2. The Pac-2 almost beat you. The other Pac-2 team fired their coach, so that tells you all you need to know about the Pac-2. The next matchup we got, a team that used to be in the Pac-12. Number 7, Texas Tech, travels to Arizona State to face the Arizona State Sun Devils. Texas Tech's a 7.5 point favorite. Gordon, there's something odd going on last week. Undisclosed reason why Sam Leavitt was not starting for Arizona State. Arizona State ended up losing. Pretty big game for him to be out. I haven't heard anything about him this week. Texas Tech looks really good on the running game. Tortillas all over the place. Who you got?
Let's not get back to that discussion. I don't, that was a funny one though. If Leavitt doesn't play, that backup quarterback is not very good, obviously. No. I hate going against Arizona State because every time I do, I get proven wrong. But I'm going to have to. Without the quarterback, there ain't no way nobody's going to get the ball. So I got Texas Tech.
I've got Texas Tech too. Cameron Dickey ran for like 263 yards last week against Kansas. And Kansas isn't a bad team, but Texas Tech 42-17 over Kansas last week at home. I think that, I think the big key for Arizona State, even if Leavitt plays, he was a decent quarterback. He looked really good last year. Got Jordan Tyson out there at wide receiver, but what is the one thing that they're missing from last year's team this year? Why did they look so much better last year than they did this year? That's right. They may have lost a little running back that may be playing up in New York right now or New Jersey.
Scattaboo.
Scattaboo is gone right now, and that's the big difference for him. Arizona State just doesn't look the same this year without him. So I got Texas Tech here, and I think Texas Tech actually covers on the road because, like I said, Arizona State just isn't that good this year. And let's go to the third Saturday in October matchup. Number 11, the low-down, dirty, snitching Tennessee Volunteers travel to Tuscaloosa to face the number 6 Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama's a 7.5 point favorite at home here. Gordon, kind of surprised by that spread a little bit. How about you?
I'm kind of surprised it's that much, but then when I think about it, Alabama is at home, and they play so much better at home. Now, if there's one coach that seems to coach better in that building than that's not got a crimson shirt on, he does tend to coach Tennessee. But I got Alabama winning, and I actually got them. I got them covering too. Their defense has gotten better. It's not Saban level defense, but you're not getting that defense back ever again. But I got them covered because I think Mr. Simpson has finally refigured it out again. He knew it at the beginning of the season, then he kind of forgot it for a little bit. At the end of the year, the past few games, it's been, I got a really good receiver out there that if I just get it somewhere near him, he could jump over people and get it. So all's good now. I got them winning and covering.
The only thing I worry about with Alabama now, Jam Miller kind of got a little banged up at the end of that last game. Is he healthy to go? Is he still good to go this week? I don't know. I haven't heard anything lately. That's a pretty big piece for them. If they lose him, I mean, I'm sure they got another 5-star over there on the bench. No problem at all. But Simpson's looked pretty good lately. Tennessee's a fun team to watch, though, on the other hand. Ooh, I just said that. They're a fun offensive team to watch. They put up points, a lot of points. The over-under for this game is 59.5. I don't think it's going to get to that. So like with Louisville here, unless it's like a ridiculous team or something, I'm always going against the Vols. Give me the Crimson Tide in this one. Roll Tide, roll. They beat Tennessee this week at home and, just embarrass them once again in this little rivalry that Tennessee thinks they've got with them.
It's not a rivalry if it's one-sided.
No, it definitely isn't. So Roll Tide in this one. The next matchup, top 25 matchup, the USC Trojans travel to number 13, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame's a 9.5-point favorite here. Jordan, was it Jordan, the running back? Wayman Jordan, maybe, for USC? Got hurt last game against Michigan. He went out. Justin Haynes went out for Michigan, both of them, with some pretty bad injuries. I think they're going to be without both of them this week. What do you think about this game right here?
Okay, that would explain why Notre Dame is a 9.5-point favorite. And that changes a little bit. I didn't know both of them got. I've seen where one of them went down. I didn't see the other one. I still think they can probe up some offense. Lincoln Riley is a good offensive mind. So if he actually starts going into his book where he can actually scheme people open, they can actually throw the ball more like a run. I got a USC upset.
USC upset on the road. Rocky Maivia over there, the quarterback for USC. I know it's Maivia, but anyways, I always, every time I see it, I'm like, hey, it's Rocky Maivia. But then he's got Lemon, the receiver out there, really good wide receiver. On the other hand, you got C.J. Carter for Notre Dame. He's played okay. Jeremiah Love, great running back, and then Jadarian Price, another good running back for Notre Dame. They got the two running backs back there, really good. I think Notre Dame wins this one. I think it's going to hurt USC to be without their running back Jordan. He was really good. But I got the Fighting Irish in this one here, so we're going against each other in this one, Gordon. But I think Notre Dame wins. I think USC covers, though. They keep it pretty close, but ultimately they can't stop the two running backs. And our last matchup, we've got top 25. Utah, number 23, Utah travels to BYU in the, what do they call it? Holy War. Yeah, that's right. 3.5-point favorite, Utah.
It's BYU, Utah, and Utah State. It's a round robin. It's a holy war.
A holy war, yeah. The battle of the Mormons out here. Gordon, who do we got?
I don't think I've picked them all year. BYU is at home, and they're a 3.5-point dog, and they're also undefeated and ranked higher. That makes absolutely no sense. Did somebody get hurt?
Not that I know of. Not that I'm aware of.
I'm going to take the home dog. I'm going to take the little puppy on the porch. How you? Can't call them road dogs because they're not.
They're not the road dogs. I'm going to go with the Utah Jazz in this one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with the Utah Utes in this one. Cam Rising, great quarterback. He no longer plays there, I know, but it's kind of a gag on this show here to mention Cam Rising when you mention Utah football anymore. He was there for 20 seasons, had a great career half of the time when he was not hurt. But other than that, I mean, Utah, they got beat down by Texas Tech earlier in the season. And since then, they've looked pretty decent. But it turns out Texas Tech might actually be a decent team. Now, BYU hasn't lost yet, but I think they get their first one this time in the Holy War. Give me the Utes in this one, and give me a BYU cover. I think they win by a field goal. So, there we go.
We actually differed twice in that time.
We did differ twice that time, and that is our picks for the week. Gordon, you got anything else to add to this program here?
No, because that segment earlier, it's still going through my head, and I'm still giggling about it. It's a game of inches.
Yeah, the yell or no yell is one for the books for sure. Might have to put that out as its own little segment on here, but that may be a short for sure that we can clip out on YouTube. Which reminds us, we just hit over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you to everybody out there for checking us out on YouTube. We appreciate that.
Thank everybody very much.
And check us out on YouTube. Channel. That's our channel. Yeah, we're over 1,000 subscribers. Just I think this morning we went over. So
sweet,
really nice. And then we're available on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon, anywhere you get your podcasts. Check us out. We appreciate it. Give us a like, share. Subscribe, comment on here. Tell us that you disagree with our picks. We will comment back to you. We don't care. Who cares? A Tennessee fan wants to get on here and talk smack, go for it. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
A team up north fan wants to comment and say that my team sucks. Go ahead. I'll chat with you. I don't care.
Yeah, we're good for a little back and forth banter. We don't care. It's football. We don't care about any. Whatever.
I got very thick skin.
Yeah. So that'll do it for us this week, and we will catch you all next week on this podcast with the college picks. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe a live stream may pop up tomorrow during that Pittsburgh game. It may not. Me and Gage may be ready to fight tomorrow night by the time that we do our pick'ems, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll see you all next week.